Imagine yourself standing at the precipice of greatness. Not a single ounce of your success is hidden from you. It exists now in this very moment. The key is not in chasing it, but in preparing for its inevitable arrival. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are prepared to receive. The first step is to claim your success as though it were already yours. Close your eyes and see yourself in the life you desire. Feel the joy, the freedom, the accomplishment as though they are present now. This is not mere imagination, it is the bridge between your current state and your future reality. Do not concern yourself with the details of how success will come. That is not your work. Your responsibility is to hold steadfast to the vision, trusting the unseen power that shapes your world. Resist the temptation to analyze or doubt, for these are the barriers that delay the inevitable. Every great success begins in the silence of belief. When the outer world shows no sign of change, remember the seed is growing beneath the soil. Your persistence in the vision, even when evidence is lacking, is the very force that commands the universe to act on your behalf. Gratitude is the language of abundance. Feel thankful now, not for what you hope to receive, but for what you already possess in the unseen realm. Gratitude is a powerful multiplier, aligning your vibration with the reality you seek. Prepare for your success to arrive in ways you could never predict. The path will surprise you, but the outcome is certain. Remain flexible and open, for life will orchestrate the details with a precision you could never plan. Prepare your heart, your mind, and your spirit for massive success. It is not a distant dream, but a present reality awaiting your readiness. Stand firm, believe boldly, and receive willingly. Success is not coming, it is already here, and it belongs to you. Success begins in the quiet, unseen spaces of the mind, long before it is visible in the outer world. To truly prepare for massive success, one must first embrace the mindset of ownership. This is not merely wishful thinking or hopeful longing, it is the deliberate and unwavering belief that success is already yours, as natural and certain as the rising sun. It requires a shift from the external pursuit of achievement to an internal realization of possession. The foundation of this transformation lies in your ability to visualize, feel, and embody the essence of success before it manifests physically. Imagine for a moment the person you desire to become, the life you aspire to live. In the mind's eye, you are already there. You see yourself thriving, standing tall in your accomplishments, exuding confidence, and radiating abundance. The mistake many make is treating this exercise as fantasy, dismissing it as mere imagination. But what you envision within is not a dream, it is a seed of reality waiting to be nurtured. Visualization is the first act of creation. When you close your eyes and see yourself as the successful individual you desire to be, you are giving form to the formless. The clearer and more detailed your vision, the stronger its pull on reality. However, visualization alone is not enough. It must be infused with emotion, for emotion is the language through which the invisible becomes tangible. Feel it. Feel the pride of accomplishing your goals, the joy of financial freedom, the peace of a balanced life, and the thrill of opportunities flowing effortlessly to you. Your emotions are a magnetic force, drawing to you the people, circumstances, and resources that align with the reality you are embodying. This feeling is not an act of pretense or make-believe, it is a conscious alignment with the truth that already exists in the unseen. The key to this process is understanding that the outer world is but a mirror reflecting the state of your inner world. If you perceive yourself as lacking, struggling, or unworthy, those are the experiences the world will echo back to you. On the other hand, when you cultivate the mindset of ownership, believing without hesitation that success is yours, your external reality must align with that belief. This is not arrogance, it is a quiet confidence rooted in the unshakable knowing that you are destined for greatness. Embodying success means living as though your goals have already been achieved. Speak, act, and carry yourself with the certainty that your vision is unfolding perfectly. This does not mean you ignore your current circumstances. Instead, you approach them with the understanding that they are temporary and malleable. Each step you take is guided by the awareness that you are walking the path of someone who is already successful. The process requires faith and persistence. There will be moments when the physical world seems unchanged, when doubts creep in and tempt you to abandon your belief. In these moments, remind yourself that the inner shift always precedes the outer manifestation. Just as a seed planted in the ground takes time to sprout, your success is unfolding in perfect timing. Trust the process and hold firm to your vision. One of the most profound shifts that occurs when you embrace the mindset of ownership is a sense of calm and assurance. No longer do you feel the need to chase or force outcomes. Instead, you align yourself with the flow of life, knowing that everything is working in your favor. This inner peace not only accelerates the manifestation of your desires, but also allows you to enjoy the journey along the way. Success is not something you acquire or achieve, it is something you claim and embody. It is not a destination but a state of being. By visualizing your desired reality, feeling it with conviction, and embodying it in your actions and attitude, you prepare yourself to receive the success that is already yours. This mindset of ownership is the starting point of every great achievement and the foundation upon which lasting success is built. The power of assumption lies in its ability to transform your life from within. It is a principle that transcends mere optimism or positive thinking. It is the deliberate practice of embodying the reality you desire, as if it already exists. When you cultivate the habit of assumption, you step into the role of the creator, aligning your inner world with the outcome you wish to see. The external world then has no choice but to conform to this inner truth, for assumption is the seed from which all physical realities grow. To act as if you are already living in your desired reality requires a shift in consciousness. It is not enough to hope, wish, or dream. You must firmly assume the identity of the person who has achieved the success, happiness, or abundance you seek. This is not a superficial act of pretending, but a deep inner conviction that what you desire is already yours. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions must reflect this belief. As you assume this state of being, you send a powerful signal to the universe, shaping your external circumstances to mirror your internal reality. The assumption is rooted in the principle that life reflects your deepest beliefs. The outer world is not independent of your inner state. It is a mirror that reveals what you hold to be true about yourself and your circumstances. When you assume a particular state of being, whether it is wealth, health, or love, you align your energy with that reality. This alignment is not passive, it is an active and intentional process that involves your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Begin by identifying the reality you desire. Close your eyes and imagine it in vivid detail. See yourself living that life, experiencing the joy and fulfillment it brings. Then move beyond mere visualization to the realm of assumption. Feel the emotions associated with that reality as if it is happening now. Feel the gratitude, the excitement, the peace. Let these emotions permeate your being, for they are the fuel that brings your assumption to life. The next step is to act in alignment with your assumption. This does not mean engaging in reckless behavior or ignoring your current responsibilities. Instead, it means carrying yourself as though you already are the person you aspire to be. Speak with confidence, make decisions from a place of abundance rather than lack, and approach each day with the mindset of someone who has already succeeded. This alignment between your inner belief and outer action strengthens your assumption, reinforcing it until it becomes your reality. The power of assumption lies in its ability to bypass the limitations of the physical world. When you focus solely on what your senses reveal, you are bound by the constraints of the present moment. However, assumption allows you to transcend these limitations by creating a new reality in your mind. This new reality becomes a magnet, drawing the necessary people, opportunities, and resources into your life. Over time, your assumption hardens into fact, reshaping your outer world to match your inner vision. Doubt and fear are the greatest obstacles to cultivating the habit of assumption. They arise when you allow the evidence of your senses to dictate your belief. To overcome these challenges, you must persist in your assumption, even when the physical world shows no signs of change. Trust in the unseen. knowing that your inner work is setting the stage for your desired reality to unfold. Persistence is key, for it is through unwavering belief that your assumption gains the power to manifest. As you cultivate this habit, you will notice subtle shifts in your life. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will present themselves. Relationships will transform, and circumstances will align in ways you could not have predicted. These changes are not coincidences, they are the natural consequences of your assumption taking root and growing into reality. The habit of assumption is a practice of faith and imagination. It requires you to look beyond what is and focus on what can be. By assuming the feeling of your desired reality and living in alignment with that belief, you unlock the creative power within you. Your assumption will harden into fact, and the life you once envisioned will become the life you live. In the journey towards success, one of the most liberating truths you can embrace is that the how is not your responsibility. The path to achieving your desires, the intricate details of how circumstances will align, and the specific steps that will unfold are not for you to control or dictate. Your role is to focus on the vision, to trust in its inevitability, and to remain unwavering in your belief. When you detach from the how, you allow the unseen forces of life to orchestrate events in ways that are beyond your imagination, creating a pathway to success that is often more effortless and perfect than you could ever plan. The human tendency is to overanalyze and strategize. When faced with a goal or dream, the mind immediately begins to calculate, asking questions like, how will this happen? What steps do I need to take? What if I fail? While planning has its place, becoming consumed by the details can lead to stress, doubt, and even self-sabotage. This fixation on the how creates resistance, blocking the very flow of energy that could bring your vision to life. By trying to control every step, you risk limiting the infinite possibilities that exist beyond your current awareness. To detach from the how is to release the need for control and place your trust in the unseen. This does not mean being passive or idle, rather, it means focusing your energy on the end result, rather than the means to get there. Picture your desired reality clearly and hold it in your heart with unwavering faith. Feel the joy, the fulfillment, and the gratitude of having already achieved it. Then let go of the question of how it will come to pass. Life operates through a complex web of interconnected events, people, and circumstances. Often the path to success involves opportunities, encounters, and solutions that you could never predict. When you release the need to control the process, you create space for these unseen forces to work on your behalf. These forces, whether you call them divine guidance, universal energy, or simply the natural flow of life, are always active, aligning the pieces of your vision in perfect harmony. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. Once planted, your role is not to dig it up each day to see if it is growing. Instead, you trust that the seed knows how to grow. You water it, provide sunlight, and allow nature to take its course. In much the same way, your vision is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. By detaching from the how, you allow it to grow without interference. Detaching from the how also brings a sense of peace and freedom. When you no longer feel the burden of controlling every aspect of your journey, you can relax and focus on what truly matters, maintaining your belief, taking inspired action when prompted, and enjoying the present moment. This surrender does not mean giving up, it means recognizing that there is a greater intelligence at work, guiding you toward your success in the most efficient and beautiful way possible. The resistance arises when you doubt this process. Perhaps the outer world appears unchanged or progress seems slow. In these moments, remember that the visible is only a fraction of what is unfolding. Much like a river carving its path through a valley, the forces of life are working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring your vision to fruition. Your role is to stay aligned with the feeling of your desire fulfilled, and to trust that the process is unfolding perfectly, even when you cannot see it. Detaching from the how does not mean ignoring opportunities or refusing to take action. It means allowing action to arise naturally from a place of alignment and inspiration, rather than force or desperation. When you trust the unseen forces, you will find yourself in the right place at the right time, guided by intuition and synchronicity. The steps you need to take will become clear, often in ways that feel effortless and joyful. Detaching from the how is an act of faith. It is a declaration that you believe in the power of your vision and trust in the unseen forces that support its realization. By focusing on the end result and releasing the need to control the process, you open the door to possibilities that surpass anything you could have planned. Success is not just about achieving a goal, it is about allowing life to unfold in its miraculous and mysterious way, carrying you toward your vision with grace and ease. Persisting in your inner vision is the cornerstone of transforming your reality. The outer world, no matter how rigid it may seem, is a direct reflection of your inner beliefs and assumptions. It is shaped not by chance, but by the steady, unwavering conviction you hold within. While it may be tempting to react to external circumstances, true change begins and solidifies in the mind. To persist is to trust the power of your vision even when the world around you offers no immediate evidence of change. It is a commitment to the unseen, a steadfast focus on what you know to be true within, regardless of what appears without. The world operates as a mirror, reflecting back the beliefs, assumptions, and feelings you harbor most consistently. If you allow yourself to be swayed by the temporary conditions of the outer world, you give up the creative power within you. When circumstances seem unchanging or even contrary to your vision, it is not a signal to abandon your belief, but a test of your persistence. These moments call for an unshakable focus, for the outer world always conforms to the dominant state of your inner world, not instantly, but inevitably. To persist in your inner vision, begin by understanding the nature of your mind. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. Every time you vividly picture your desired reality and feel its truth, you impress it upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious, in turn, works tirelessly to bring this vision into form, influencing events, aligning circumstances, and guiding your actions. However, this process requires consistency. A fleeting belief or half-hearted assumption lacks the power to override the patterns already ingrained in your subconscious. Persistence is the force that rewrites these patterns and reorients your entire being toward the fulfillment of your vision. Detachment from the evidence of your senses is essential. The physical world, as real as it may appear, is the result of past thoughts and beliefs. It is a delayed reflection, much like the light of a distant star that reaches Earth long after it has been emitted. If you allow yourself to be discouraged by what you see in the present, you risk reinforcing the very conditions you wish to change. Instead, let your focus remain on the inner vision, knowing that it is the seed of a future reality that must come to pass if you nurture it with persistence and belief. Persisting does not mean forcing or straining, it means maintaining a quiet, confident faith in your vision. It is the unwavering decision to return time and again to the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Even when doubts creep in or circumstances appear static, gently redirect your mind to the truth you hold within. This practice builds resilience, teaching you to trust in the unseen forces at work, rather than the fleeting appearances of the outer world. Emotions play a vital role in persistence. The feeling of your vision fulfilled is the fuel that powers its manifestation. Cultivate this feeling as often as possible, allowing it to permeate your thoughts and actions. Feel the joy, gratitude, and peace of already living the life you desire. These emotions not only strengthen your belief but also create a magnetic force that draws your vision closer to reality. When doubts arise, counter them with the certainty of this feeling, reminding yourself that the outer world must eventually conform. Time is another factor that tests your persistence. The delay between imagining your vision and seeing it manifest can be frustrating, but this period is not wasted. It is a time of gestation, where unseen forces are aligning the pieces of your vision. Trust in this process, knowing that every moment you persist strengthens the foundation of your desired reality. The greater your belief, the shorter this period becomes, for the intensity of your inner conviction accelerates the alignment of circumstances. In the face of apparent stagnation, affirm your vision with even greater clarity. Speak words of truth to yourself, such as, "It is done," or "I know my vision is real." These affirmations, repeated with conviction, reinforce your belief and keep your focus steady. Let every action you take in the outer world be guided by this inner knowing, acting as though your vision is already a fact. This alignment between thought and action creates a powerful coherence that hastens the manifestation of your desire. Persistence in your inner vision is an act of mastery over the self. It requires discipline, patience, and unwavering faith. But the rewards are extraordinary. By refusing to waver, even in the face of unchanging circumstances, you demonstrate your understanding of the creative process. You rise above the temporary and align yourself with the eternal truth. The outer world is but a shadow of your inner beliefs. Hold fast to your vision, nurture it with care, and trust in its inevitable fulfillment. In time, the world will conform and your inner truth will shine forth as your reality. Gratitude is one of the most potent forces in creation. It shifts your energy, aligns you with the frequency of abundance, and bridges the gap between where you are and where you desire to be. To embrace gratitude for what is unseen is to step into the reality of your fulfilled desires as though they are already yours. It is to say thank you for blessings not yet visible in the physical world, confident that they exist in the realm of possibility and are on their way to you. This state of gratitude amplifies your focus, strengthens your belief, and hastens the manifestation of your desires. When you feel gratitude, you align yourself with the feeling of having, rather than wanting. Desire in its purest form is a beautiful force. But if it is not accompanied by gratitude, it can carry an undertone of lack. This lack creates resistance, reinforcing the idea that what you desire is separate from you. Gratitude, however, dissolves this separation. When you give thanks for your success, as though it has already happened, you step into the energy of fulfillment. You affirm that your desires are not only possible but certain. Gratitude is not merely a mental exercise, it is an emotional state that resonates deeply with the subconscious mind. The subconscious, which shapes your outer reality, responds not to words alone but to the feelings behind them. When you feel genuine gratitude for something unseen, you send a powerful signal to your subconscious that the desired outcome is already real. This emotional conviction imprints your belief onto the subconscious, prompting it to work tirelessly to align circumstances, opportunities, and people in harmony with your vision. You begin by visualizing your desired success with vivid clarity. See yourself living the life you dream of, achieving the goals you have set, and experiencing the joy and abundance that comes with it. As you hold this image in your mind, shift your focus to gratitude. Say to yourself, "Thank you for this incredible success. Thank you for the opportunities that made it possible. Thank you for the joy, fulfillment, and abundance I now experience." Allow this gratitude to fill your heart until it feels as real as if your desires had already materialized. This practice of gratitude is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about aligning with the truth that all possibilities exist within you. By feeling grateful for what is unseen, you claim it as your own. You step into the identity of someone who has already succeeded, and this identity becomes a powerful attractor for your desires. Gratitude also cultivates a mindset of abundance. When you focus on what you are thankful for, whether it is present in your life now or yet to come, you shift your attention away from what is missing. This shift not only elevates your mood but also raises your vibrational frequency, aligning you with the positive outcomes you seek. The law of attraction responds to this energy, drawing to you experiences that match your elevated state. The beauty of gratitude is that it can be practiced anywhere, at any time. In moments of doubt, turn to gratitude. When circumstances appear unchanged, give thanks for the unseen progress taking place behind the scenes. When you feel impatient, remind yourself that every step of the journey is bringing you closer to your vision. Gratitude transforms these moments into opportunities for growth, reinforcing your trust in the process and your belief in the inevitable fulfillment of your desires. As you embrace gratitude for what is unseen, you may begin to notice synchronicities, opportunities, and subtle shifts in your outer world. These are not coincidences but reflections of your inner state. They are signs that your gratitude is working, aligning your reality with the vision you hold within. Celebrate these signs, no matter how small, as evidence that you are on the right path. Gratitude also deepens your relationship with the unseen forces at work in your life. Whether you perceive these forces as divine guidance, universal energy, or the natural flow of creation, expressing thanks for their support strengthens your connection. It acknowledges that you are not alone in this journey, that there is a greater intelligence orchestrating events in your favor. This trust allows you to relax, release resistance, and surrender to the process with confidence. Embracing gratitude for what is unseen is an act of faith and mastery. It requires you to look beyond appearances, to trust in the invisible, and to celebrate the reality of your desires before they manifest. But this practice is also profoundly rewarding. It transforms the way you experience life, filling each moment with hope, joy, and a deep sense of abundance. By feeling gratitude as though your success has already happened, you align yourself with its inevitability, amplifying the power of your focus and accelerating the realization of your dreams. Expecting the unexpected is an essential mindset for manifesting success. It acknowledges that while your vision is clear and your desires are firm, the paths through which they come to fruition are infinite and often beyond your comprehension. To embrace this principle is to trust the unseen forces that orchestrate reality, allowing yourself to stay receptive, flexible, and open to possibilities you may not have anticipated. This mindset not only accelerates the manifestation of your success, but also allows you to navigate life with ease and curiosity. When you set your intention for success, it is natural to imagine specific ways it might unfold. However, attaching yourself too rigidly to a particular path can create resistance. The universe, or the unseen intelligence governing creation, operates with a perspective far broader than your own. It sees opportunities, connections, and sequences of events that your conscious mind cannot fathom. By expecting the unexpected, you release the need to control every detail and instead allow this greater intelligence to bring your vision to life in ways that are often more extraordinary than you could have imagined. Staying receptive begins with trust that your desires are heard, and that the processes required to fulfill them are already in motion. This trust is not passive, it is an active state of readiness. It means holding your vision clearly in your mind while being willing to adapt to whatever comes your way. Success rarely arrives in a straight line, it often takes twists and turns that, while unpredictable, are perfectly aligned with your ultimate goal. By remaining open, you position yourself to recognize these opportunities and take inspired action when they appear. Flexibility is equally crucial. The journey to success often requires you to adjust your plans, rethink your strategies, and embrace new directions. What may seem like a detour is often a necessary step toward your destination. For instance, you might encounter setbacks that initially appear to delay your progress, only to realize later that they provided valuable lessons or redirected you toward a better path. Flexibility allows you to flow with these changes rather than resisting them, maintaining your momentum even when the road ahead looks different than you expected. To expect the unexpected is also to cultivate a sense of wonder and curiosity. Instead of fixating on how your success will come, approach each day with the question, what incredible opportunities might unfold today? This mindset shifts your focus from doubt or impatience to excitement and possibility. It creates a sense of adventure, transforming the journey into an enriching experience rather than a means to an end. Practicing detachment is another key aspect of expecting the unexpected. Detachment does not mean giving up on your desires, it means releasing the need for them to manifest in a specific way or on a rigid timeline. When you are detached, you allow space for the unexpected to enter your life. You free yourself from the anxiety of micromanaging the process, trusting instead that what you desire is on its way, even if the how and when remain unknown. This openness often leads to serendipity, those moments of seemingly accidental alignment that bring you closer to your goals. Perhaps you meet someone who provides a vital connection, or you stumble upon an idea that transforms your approach. These occurrences are not random, they are the result of your openness to the unexpected. By staying attuned to your vision while remaining adaptable, you create a fertile environment for such synchronicities to occur. Expecting the unexpected teaches you resilience. Success is rarely a smooth journey. Challenges, surprises, and changes are inevitable. When you anticipate that the unexpected will play a role in your story, you are less likely to be thrown off course by unforeseen events. Instead, you see them as part of the unfolding process, responding with confidence and creativity rather than fear or frustration. This mindset also encourages you to expand your definition of success. Often, the unexpected ways in which success manifests reveal possibilities that surpass your original vision. For example, you might achieve a goal in a manner that brings additional benefits you hadn't considered, or you might discover new passions and directions that enrich your life even further. By staying open, you allow the unfolding process to exceed your expectations, creating outcomes that are not only successful but deeply fulfilling. Expecting the unexpected is an act of co-creation with the universe. It acknowledges your role as the visionary and the universe's role as the orchestrator. Together, this partnership creates a dynamic, ever-evolving process that brings your desires to life in ways that are both precise and miraculous. By staying receptive and flexible, you align yourself with this flow, allowing success to manifest in its most remarkable form. Trust in the process, remain open to surprises, and let the unexpected become a source of joy and inspiration on your journey to achieving your dreams. In this journey to massive success, you've learned that your mind is the foundation, your assumptions shape reality, and trust in unseen forces amplifies your manifestation. You've embraced persistence in your inner vision, gratitude for the unseen, and openness to the unexpected. Each principle is a reminder that success begins and ends within you, unfolding not just through effort but through alignment with the truth that your desires are already yours. As you walk forward, hold steadfast to these truths. Nurture your inner beliefs, let gratitude guide your steps, and trust the process even when the path is unclear. Success is not something you chase, it is something you allow to emerge from the certainty of your faith and the clarity of your vision. Thank you for embracing this message and for taking the time to internalize these principles. May your journey be filled with endless breakthroughs, abundance, and fulfillment beyond your wildest dreams. Thank you, and may success flow to you effortlessly. Ladies and gentlemen, let us journey beyond the veil of the ordinary and into the realm of the extraordinary. For too long, the word witch has been misunderstood, misrepresented, and cloaked in fear. Today, I invite you to see it in its true light, a symbol of mastery over self, a connection to the unseen, and a deep understanding of the laws that govern creation. The first mark of a witch is the power of intention. This is not a fleeting wish or a passing desire, but a deliberate, focused thought imbued with emotion. They know that what they hold steady in their mind's eye becomes their reality. Like the sculptor who sees the statue within the marble, a witch molds their world with the clarity of their intention. The second mark is the command of energy. A witch does not beg or plead with life. They direct their energy with precision, understanding that the universe is not moved by need but by conviction. Wherever they place their attention, they know creation follows. The third mark is the seal of knowing. Faith is their foundation, not a blind faith in something outside of themselves, but a deep trust in their own creative power. They do not hope, they know, and in that knowing lies their magic. The fourth mark is the language of symbols. Rituals, objects, and symbols are not mere superstition. They are tools, keys that unlock the doors to higher consciousness. A witch uses these tools to bridge the gap between the seen and the unseen, turning abstract desires into tangible realities. The fifth and final mark is the spirit of transformation. A witch is an alchemist, transmuting the mundane into the divine, the ordinary into the extraordinary. They embrace the chaos of life, knowing it holds the seeds of creation. Where others see destruction, they see rebirth. But perhaps the most profound truth about these marks is this: they are not reserved for a chosen few. Each of us holds the potential to embody them. The witch is not an outsider, it is the part of you that dares to believe in your own power. The part that remembers you are not a victim of life, but its creator. So as you leave here today, remember the marks of a witch are not in what they wear, where they live, or how they are perceived by others. The marks are written in their thoughts, their faith, and their ability to turn their inner world into an outer masterpiece. The question is not whether you possess these marks, the question is whether you will awaken to them. A witch is not recognized by the cloak they wear, the incantations they recite, or the tools they hold. Their power lies not in the external, but in the unseen mastery of their inner world. It is within this sacred realm, where thoughts are formed and emotions flow, that the true essence of their craft emerges. The power of intention is the cornerstone of this mastery, of force so subtle, yet so profound, that it weaves the fabric of reality itself. To understand this power, one must first grasp that the universe is a mirror, endlessly reflecting the inner state of the individual. The witch knows this truth intuitively. They do not look outward for validation, nor do they chase after circumstances to find fulfillment. Instead, they retreat into the sanctuary of their mind, sculpting their desires with precision and clarity. For them, thoughts are not idle musings, but the seeds of creation, each one carrying the potential to shape the world around them. Intention is not merely a wish or a fleeting desire, it is a deliberate act of will. A witch understands that their intention must be clear, focused and unwavering, for the universe does not respond to confusion or contradiction. Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas. Without a clear vision of what they wish to create, the strokes of their brush would be aimless, resulting in chaos rather than art. The witch, like the painter, holds a vivid image in their mind, pouring their energy into it until it becomes as real to them as the ground beneath their feet. But intention alone is not enough, it must be fueled by feeling. Thoughts without emotion are lifeless, mere shadows of possibility. The witch breathes life into their intentions through the power of their emotions, aligning their inner state with the reality they wish to manifest. They do not merely think of abundance, love, or success, they feel it as if it is already theirs. This emotional resonance creates a magnetic pull, drawing their desires toward them with an irresistible force. The witch's craft is one of alignment. They do not force their will upon the world, instead, they align themselves with the frequency of their desires. They understand that every intention carries a vibration, and to manifest it, they must become a match for that vibration. If they seek love, they embody love. If they desire wealth, they cultivate a mindset of abundance. Through this process, they transform themselves into a vessel for their desires, allowing them to flow effortlessly into their lives. Doubt is the enemy of intention, a shadow that dims the light of creation. The witch guards their mind against it, knowing that even the smallest seed of uncertainty can take root and grow, choking the life out of their desires. They practice faith, not a blind faith in something external, but a deep, unshakable belief in their own power. This faith acts as a shield, protecting their intentions from the corrosive influence of fear and doubt. Patience, too, is a vital component of the witch's mastery. They do not rush or despair when their desires do not materialize immediately. Instead, they trust in the timing of the universe, knowing that the seeds they have planted will bloom when the conditions are right. This patience is not passive, it is an active state of trust, a quiet confidence that the unseen forces of creation are working in their favor. The tools and rituals often associated with witches' candles, herbs, chants are not the source of their power but extensions of their intention. These tools serve as physical anchors, helping to focus their energy and amplify their desires. However, a true witch knows that these tools are not necessary. Their craft begins and ends within them, in the boundless realm of their mind and spirit. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this power is its universality. It is not exclusive to witches or mystics, but is available to all who dare to claim it. Each person possesses the ability to shape their reality through intention, yet few realize this potential. The witch, however, lives in the awareness of this truth. They do not see themselves as separate from the universe, but as a part of it, intricately connected to its rhythms and cycles. In a world that often values action over thought, the witch stands as a testament to the quiet, transformative power of the mind. They remind us that true change begins within, that the most profound creations are born not from the hands, but from the heart and mind. To embody this power is to step into the role of the creator, to take responsibility for one's life and the reality one inhabits. It is a path that requires discipline, faith, and courage, a path that leads to freedom. For when one masters their inner world, they master the outer one as well. And in that mastery lies the essence of a witch's craft. In the vast fabric of existence, everything is energy. It moves, flows, and responds to the direction it is given. Those who understand this truth gain a profound advantage, for they become not mere participants in life, but creators of it. To command energy is to master the invisible threads that weave reality together, shaping outcomes with intention and focus. It is not magic in the sense of mysticism, it is the art of understanding and working with the laws that govern the unseen. They who command energy know that it flows where focus goes. Focus is not a passive act, it is an active force. When you place your attention on something, you are not simply observing it, you are feeding it, empowering it, and inviting it to grow. The witch, or anyone who seeks mastery over their life, understands this principle deeply. They do not scatter their focus on distractions or trivialities. Instead, they concentrate their energy on what they desire, knowing that where they direct their attention, they direct the flow of creation itself. This is why clarity is essential. If one's focus is divided or unclear, the energy they project becomes scattered, ineffective, and weak. Imagine water flowing through a wide, shallow stream. Its force is diluted, unable to carve deeply into the earth. But when that same water is channeled into a narrow, focused stream, its power intensifies, capable of shaping landscapes. So too does energy work through focus. It gains momentum, force, and direction when given a clear path. To command energy is also to recognize its neutral nature. Energy does not discriminate between positive and negative focus. It simply follows the direction it is given. If one's mind is filled with fear, doubt, or resentment, that is where energy flows, magnifying those conditions. Conversely, when the mind is attuned to abundance, love, and confidence, the energy amplifies those states. The master of energy is vigilant in their thoughts, guarding against the intrusion of negativity and cultivating a mental environment that aligns with their desires. But commanding energy is not merely about thinking or feeling, it is about alignment. The one who wields this power understands that thoughts, emotions, and actions must be in harmony. They cannot think of wealth while feeling poor, or act out of scarcity while desiring abundance. Such contradictions dilute the flow of energy, creating resistance and confusion. Alignment is the key. It is the state where one's inner world reflects the outer world they wish to create. This alignment often requires stillness, for energy responds most powerfully in the absence of chaos. In stillness, the currents of energy can be directed with precision, unclouded by doubt or distraction. This is why practices such as meditation, visualization, and mindfulness are so effective. They quiet the mind, focus the attention, and allow the individual to harness the full power of their energy. In this state, even the smallest intention becomes a seed with the potential to grow into a mighty tree. The command of energy also demands responsibility. To wield such power without wisdom is to invite unintended consequences. Energy is not a tool for manipulation or harm, for its flow is cyclical. What one sends out into the world inevitably returns. The master of energy acts with integrity, aligning their intentions with the greater good, knowing that the currents they set in motion will shape not only their reality but also the realities of those around them. This understanding brings freedom, for it reveals that one is never truly powerless. No matter the external circumstances, the command of energy allows for transformation from within. Even in the face of adversity, the one who masters energy can shift their focus, redirecting the flow toward solutions, opportunities, and growth. They do not resist the challenges life presents, but use them as opportunities to strengthen their command, bending the currents of life to align with their will. This bending is not forceful, it is cooperative. Energy is not something to be conquered or controlled in a rigid sense. It is a dance, a partnership between the individual and the universal forces that govern existence. The master of energy moves with these forces, not against them, trusting in their rhythm and flow. They understand that to push too hard is to create resistance, while to move with the natural currents is to harness their full power. To command energy is to command oneself. It is an art of discipline, focus, and intentionality. It is the recognition that you are not a victim of the world's currents, but a navigator of them. You have the power to direct the flow, to choose where your energy goes, and to shape the reality that unfolds before you. In this mastery lies true freedom, for when you can command your energy, you can command your life. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or external forces. You become the creator, the architect of your destiny, bending the currents of life to align with your will and creating a reality that reflects your deepest desires and highest aspirations. At the core of every true practitioner's power lies an unshakable certainty, a deep, unyielding belief in their ability to shape reality through the power of their mind and spirit. This certainty is not born of external validation, nor is it a fleeting hope or wishful thinking. It is a profound inner knowing, a seal of conviction that what they imagine with clarity and conviction must come to pass. This is the essence of their craft, the foundation upon which their reality is built. This knowing is not a product of arrogance or delusion. It is a quiet and resolute confidence born of understanding universal laws. The witch, or any master of the unseen, recognizes that imagination is the blueprint of creation. Everything that exists in the physical world first took shape in the invisible realm of thought and intention. To know this is to grasp the ultimate creative power inherent in every individual. It is to see oneself not as a passive observer of life, but as its active architect. Doubt has no place in this realm. The witch understands that doubt is a crack in the foundation of their reality, a weakness that undermines the structure before it can fully form. When one doubts their power, they split their energy, sending conflicting signals to the universe. The result is chaos or stagnation, as the currents of creation are disrupted by uncertainty. The seal of knowing is the antidote to this. It is a shield against fear, insecurity, and hesitation, a steadfast belief that the imagined outcome is already assured, even if unseen. This certainty is not dependent on external circumstances or evidence. The witch does not wait for signs or confirmations from the world to believe in their power. They know that reality bends to the strength of conviction, not the other way around. When they imagine a desire fulfilled, they hold it in their mind with such clarity and emotional resonance that it becomes more real to them than the physical world. They live as though it is already done, walking through life with the assurance that what they have claimed internally must eventually manifest externally. This level of knowing requires practice and discipline. It is not enough to affirm or visualize sporadically. One must cultivate a state of unwavering belief. This is achieved by immersing oneself in the feeling of the desired outcome, repeatedly affirming its reality until it becomes an unshakable truth. The witch does not allow fleeting doubts or external setbacks to deter them. They see such challenges as illusions, mere tests of their resolve, and they remain anchored in their inner knowing, regardless of appearances. The seal of knowing is also deeply tied to trust in oneself in the process and in the unseen forces that govern creation. The witch understands that they are co-creating with the universe, that their desires are not random but are in harmony with the greater flow of existence. They do not struggle or strive to make things happen. Instead, they align themselves with the natural rhythms of creation, trusting that their inner certainty will draw their desires to them at the perfect time and in the perfect way. This trust does not imply passivity. On the contrary, it empowers action taken from a place of alignment and clarity. When the witch knows that their vision is assured, they act with confidence and purpose, free from hesitation or fear of failure. Their actions are not driven by desperation or doubt, but by the joy of bringing their inner vision into physical form. They become a conduit through which the unseen becomes seen, channeling their certainty into every thought, word, and deed. The power of knowing also extends beyond the individual. It influences the energy around them, drawing people, opportunities, and circumstances into alignment with their vision. This magnetic quality is not forced, it is a natural result of their unshakable conviction. Others are drawn to their certainty, sensing the strength and clarity of their belief. This is not manipulation, it is the effortless flow of energy responding to the power of focused intention. The seal of knowing is transformative. It allows the individual to transcend limitations, to rise above the constraints of doubt and fear, and to step fully into their creative power. It is not an external gift or a skill to be acquired, it is a state of being, a recognition of the inherent power that exists within every person. To embrace this knowing is to awaken to one's true nature as a creator, to claim the ability to shape reality according to one's highest vision. With this seal firmly in place, there is no room for hesitation. The witch walks with confidence, speaks with authority, and acts with purpose, knowing that the universe will rearrange itself to reflect their inner state. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to create, to imagine, and to bring forth that which was once only a thought. It is the power to live not as a victim of circumstances, but as the master of one's destiny, guided by the unshakable certainty that what is imagined with conviction must come to pass. Symbols, rituals, and visualizations hold an undeniable power, transcending their surface appearance to serve as profound tools for accessing the unseen realms of consciousness. Those who understand the language of symbols wield them not as mere decorations or theatrical gestures, but as keys to unlock the mysteries of the mind and the universe. To such practitioners, these elements become bridges between the tangible and intangible, the known and the infinite. Symbols are not confined to shapes, images, or objects. They are vessels carrying layers of meaning, resonating deeply with the subconscious mind. Unlike spoken or written words, symbols bypass the analytical part of the brain, communicating directly with the part of us that understands the language of archetypes, emotions, and intuition. A circle, for example, is not just a geometric form, it is eternity, wholeness, and unity. A flame is more than fire, it represents transformation, passion, and the power of renewal. When a practitioner uses a symbol, they are engaging with these deeper meanings, inviting the energies they represent into their reality. This is not superstition or blind faith, it is a deliberate act of aligning with the vibrations that symbols carry. By focusing on a symbol, one directs their mind to resonate with its essence, creating a powerful connection between the inner world and the forces they seek to harness. Rituals amplify this connection. A ritual, no matter how simple or elaborate, is a physical enactment of intention. It serves as a container for focus, channeling scattered energies into a unified purpose. The lighting of a candle, the drawing of a sigil, or the repetition of a chant are not random acts, they are deliberate, calculated movements designed to anchor the practitioner in the present moment while directing their thoughts toward a specific goal. Through these actions, the mundane transforms into the sacred, and the practitioner steps into a state of heightened awareness. In this heightened state, the boundaries between the conscious and subconscious blur. Rituals create a liminal space, a threshold where the practitioner can access deeper realms of their mind and tap into universal energies. It is here, in this in-between state, that transformation occurs. The ritual serves as a catalyst, shifting the practitioner's inner landscape and aligning it with their desired outcome. Visualization is another essential component of this language. To visualize is to create a vivid mental image of a desired outcome, imbuing it with emotion and detail until it feels as real as the physical world. The act of visualization is more than mere daydreaming. It is a powerful form of rehearsal for reality. When the mind sees and feels an experience as if it has already happened, it begins to rewire itself to align with that reality. Neural pathways are strengthened, behaviors shift, and the energetic vibrations of the individual change to match their vision. Symbols often enhance visualization. A practitioner might visualize a golden key to represent unlocking opportunities, or a rising sun to signify new beginnings. These images are not arbitrary, they resonate with the subconscious mind, guiding it to focus on the desired state. The more vividly the practitioner imagines these symbols, the more powerful their effect. But the language of symbols, rituals, and visualization is not limited to manifesting external desires. It is also a means of self-discovery and transformation. Each symbol holds a mirror to the practitioner, reflecting aspects of their inner world that may be hidden or suppressed. The rituals become journeys into the depths of the psyche, unearthing truths and clearing blockages that hinder growth. Visualization too serves as a tool for inner healing, allowing the practitioner to rewrite their narrative and step into a more empowered version of themselves. This language is universal, yet deeply personal. While the meanings of certain symbols and rituals are shared across cultures and traditions, their true power lies in the individual's relationship with them. A symbol that resonates deeply with one person may hold little significance for another. The practitioner understands this and chooses their tools intuitively, guided by what speaks to their heart and spirit. At its core, the language of symbols, rituals, and visualization is about focus and intention. It is a way of directing the mind, anchoring it in the present, while simultaneously projecting it into the desired future. Each act, each image, becomes a declaration to the universe, a statement of faith in the practitioner's ability to co-create their reality. In using these tools, the practitioner does not rely on them as crutches or external sources of power. They recognize that the true power lies within themselves. The symbols and rituals are merely expressions of this inner strength. They are reminders of the vast creative potential that resides in every individual, waiting to be awakened and directed. Through this language, the practitioner bridges the gap between the seen and the unseen, the conscious and the subconscious. They step into a role of mastery, using symbols to command energy, rituals to focus intention, and visualization to shape reality. In doing so, they align their inner world with the outer, transforming both in the process. It is not magic in the conventional sense, it is the art of understanding and wielding the profound forces that govern existence, creating a life that reflects their highest aspirations and deepest truths. True power requires no announcement, no display to convince the world of its presence. It moves silently, assuredly, and unshaken. A witch embodies this truth, walking through life with a quiet confidence that does not seek validation or acknowledgement from others. Their strength lies not in outward expressions, but in an unbreakable connection to the unseen realm, a bond so profound that it speaks volumes without uttering a word. This silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the absence of noise, not the absence of substance. A witch understands that the loudest forces are often the least effective. True power does not need to prove itself. It is self-evident, radiating a presence that is felt, not heard. Like the stillness before a storm or the depth of a calm ocean, their quiet demeanor holds immense energy beneath its surface, waiting to flow with intention when the moment calls for it. Operating in silence does not mean isolation or secrecy born of fear. It is a deliberate choice to protect the sanctity of one's power. When a person seeks external validation, They open themselves to the opinions, judgments, and energies of others, diluting their focus and weakening their resolve. A witch knows better than to scatter their energy in this way. Instead, they conserve it, channeling it inward to strengthen their connection to their inner world and the unseen forces they work with. This connection to the unseen is the foundation of their confidence. They do not rely on the shifting sands of external circumstances to define their worth or validate their efforts. They are rooted in something far deeper, the knowledge that the invisible realm governs the visible. While others may scramble for control in the physical world, the witch calmly directs their energy where it matters most, knowing that their inner state will inevitably shape their outer reality. Their silence is also a form of trust in themselves, in the process, and in the forces that work in harmony with their intentions. They do not need to shout their plans from the rooftops or seek reassurance from others, for they understand that creation begins in the stillness of the mind and heart. In this silence, they nurture their visions, allowing them to grow undisturbed by the noise of doubt or the interference of external influences. This quiet confidence extends to their interactions with others. A witch does not feel the need to dominate or impose their will, for they know their power is not dependent on recognition or compliance. Their presence alone commands respect, not through intimidation but through the strength of their authenticity. People may not always understand what sets them apart, but they cannot deny the energy they carry, a calm assurance that speaks of someone who knows who they are and what they are capable of. Silence also serves as a shield. In a world full of noise, where opinions are shouted and distractions abound, silence becomes a refuge. It is a space where the witch can retreat to center themselves, free from the chaos that seeks to pull them off course. In this sacred stillness, they can hear the whispers of intuition, the guidance of the unseen, and the voice of their own soul. These subtle messages are often drowned out by the clamor of the external world, but in silence they become clear and powerful. This approach does not mean a witch is passive or withdrawn. On the contrary, their actions are deliberate and impactful, born of a clarity that silence provides. When they speak, their words carry weight because they are not wasted on trivial matters. When they act, their movements are purposeful, driven by inner alignment rather than external pressure. Their power is not in constant motion but in precise and focused intention. To move in silence is also to embrace mystery, both for oneself and others. A witch does not reveal all their thoughts, plans, or feelings, for they understand that mystery holds power. What is unknown cannot be interfered with, manipulated, or diminished. This sense of the unknown draws others to them, not out of curiosity alone, but because it is a rare quality in a world where so much is overshared and overexplained. Their silence becomes magnetic, a quiet pull that intrigues and inspires. The silence of power is about mastery of oneself, one's energy, and one's connection to the greater forces of existence. It is the realization that true strength does not come from noise or spectacle, but from the unwavering stillness within. It is a state of being that requires no audience, no applause, and no affirmation, for it is complete in itself. In this silence, the witch moves through life with grace and certainty, shaping their reality with subtle yet profound force. Their quiet confidence becomes a testament to the truth that power is not something to be displayed, but something to be embodied. And when power is embodied in this way, it speaks louder than words ever could. Transformation is the essence of power, the art of taking what is and shaping it into what could be. A true alchemist of the soul knows this intimately, for their craft is not bound by circumstance or limitation. Instead, they wield transformation as their gift, their purpose, and their truth. They do not flinch in the face of challenges or crumble beneath the weight of despair. To them, trials are not barriers but opportunities, stepping stones to greater heights. They take what others see as ashes and craft beauty. They do not resist the storm but merge with its energy, becoming the very force that transforms. To transform is not merely to change one's outer circumstances. It is a deep, inner alchemy, a process of turning the lead of human suffering, doubt, and fear into the goal of resilience, strength, and wisdom. This transformation begins within the soul, where the raw material of life's experiences is melted down and recast into something more profound. A witch understands this process as both a surrender and an assertion of will. It is a surrender to the flow of life, accepting that storms will come, and an assertion of their power to shape what follows. Trials are inevitable, but the witch does not see them as enemies. They view challenges as initiations, necessary steps in their evolution. Every difficulty carries within it the seeds of transformation, waiting to be cultivated. It is not the storm itself that defines them, but how they respond to its call. Rather than shrinking back in fear or denial, they step forward boldly, embracing the chaos as a force of renewal. They understand that within destruction lies the potential for creation, and within every ending the promise of a new beginning. This understanding requires courage, for transformation is not a passive act. It is a journey into the unknown, a willingness to face the darkest parts of oneself and the world. A witch meets this darkness with open eyes and an open heart, knowing that the very pain they face holds the wisdom they seek. They do not shy away from the fire, but step into it, allowing it to burn away what no longer serves them. In this way they become like the phoenix, rising from the ashes of their former selves with renewed strength and clarity. But transformation is not only about enduring trials, it is about transcending them. It is the ability to take what was meant to harm and turn it into something that heals. It is turning sorrow into compassion, failure into resilience, and loss into gratitude. A witch does this not through denial or suppression, but through deep, conscious engagement with their experiences. They mine their trials for meaning, extracting the lessons and insights that will guide them forward. This process is not linear or easy. Transformation demands patience and faith, for it often unfolds in ways that are not immediately visible. Like the caterpillar that dissolves within its cocoon before emerging as a butterfly, the witch understands that the most profound changes occur in the unseen realms. They trust in this process, even when it feels chaotic or uncertain, knowing that every step is part of their growth. In embracing transformation, a witch also embraces their power as a creator. They recognize that they are not at the mercy of external forces, but are active participants in shaping their reality. This does not mean they can control every aspect of life, but they can control how they respond, how they perceive, and how they move forward. This is their alchemy, the ability to take whatever life gives them and use it as material for their evolution. The storm then becomes a metaphor for their power. Just as the storm reshapes the landscape, a witch reshapes their inner and outer worlds. They do not fight against the winds of change, but harness their energy, using it to propel themselves forward. They become the storm not in a destructive sense, but in a transformative one, embodying the force of change with grace and purpose. This spirit of transformation is not reserved for moments of crisis, it is a way of life. A witch continually seeks growth, understanding that stagnation is the only true death. They are always evolving, always seeking to refine and expand their understanding of themselves and the world. Even in moments of peace, they remain attuned to the subtle shifts within and around them, ready to adapt and grow. In their hands, every experience becomes a tool for transformation. They turn wounds into wisdom, obstacles into opportunities, and endings into new beginnings. They do this not through magic in the traditional sense, but through the profound power of their perspective, intention, and resilience. A witch's spirit of transformation is a reminder that we are all alchemists, capable of turning our trials into triumphs and our ashes into beauty. It is an invitation to embrace life's storms not with fear, but with the knowledge that within them lies the power to create, to grow, and to become. By embodying this spirit, they show that true transformation begins not with resistance, but with a willingness to step into the fire and emerge reborn. In every fiber of their being, the witch embodies transformation, silence, intention, and the mastery of energy and symbols. They are the alchemists of life, turning trials into triumphs, moving with quiet confidence, and shaping their reality with precision and purpose. Their connection to the unseen realm is unshakable, and their power is not in grand displays but in the subtle yet profound way they command their inner and outer worlds. The true essence of their craft lies in their ability to become the storm, to harness the currents of life, and to emerge from every challenge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with their purpose. Through their practice, they remind us that we all carry within us the potential to transform, to create, and to rise above. Thank you for allowing me to share these insights with you. May you walk forward with the quiet confidence of one who knows their power and the wisdom to use it well. My friends, you hold within you the key to transforming the impossible into the inevitable. What you seek is not far away, it is within you, waiting for your recognition. Tonight, as you stand on the threshold of sleep, I invite you to repeat these words 10 times with unwavering faith. Do not merely recite them, feel them. Feel the reality of those words as though they were already true. Imagine yourself stepping into the life you desire. Hear the sounds, see the colors, and breathe in the air of your fulfilled dreams. As you repeat these words, you are speaking directly to your subconscious mind. This sacred gateway between the seen and unseen will take your words and mold reality around them. Let no doubt, no fear enter your heart during this practice. The world may tell you it is impossible, but the world is a reflection of your inner state. Change the state within, and the world must follow. Repeat this affirmation 10 times with conviction. Do not look for evidence outside you. Instead, know that the evidence is forming even now. Feel gratitude as though you've already received what you seek. Gratitude is the sign that you trust the process. It is the mark of a heart that knows its power. Persist in this practice each evening. Let it be the last thought you take into sleep. Let it sink deeply into your being. For what you plant in your subconscious mind will sprout and grow, no matter how impossible it seems. All things are possible to the one who believes. So tonight, take up this simple practice. Repetition is one of the most profound tools available to shape your reality. It is the silent architect of belief, a force that molds your subconscious mind and transforms the seemingly impossible into the inevitable. When you repeat a thought, a word, or an affirmation consistently, you begin to embed it deeply within your consciousness. What you repeat, you believe, and what you believe, you manifest into your life. This is not merely a poetic notion, but a fundamental law of how the mind works. Every belief you currently hold, whether empowering or limiting, was born out of repetition. As children, we absorb the words and ideas presented to us by those around us, our parents, teachers, and society. These words, repeated over time, became truths within us, shaping the way we see the world and ourselves. If you were told repeatedly that you were capable and loved, you likely grew up with confidence and self-worth. Conversely, if you were exposed to negative words or limiting ideas, those too may have taken root. This demonstrates the power of repetition in forming our inner dialogue, which in turn creates the framework for how we experience reality. Repetition works because the subconscious mind, which governs the majority of our thoughts and behaviors, learns through consistency. Unlike the conscious mind, which analyzes and questions, the subconscious simply accepts repeated input as truth. It does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply follows the blueprint it is given. This is why consistent repetition of affirmations, visualizations, or thoughts is so powerful. It bypasses the conscious mind's skepticism and impresses the desired reality onto the subconscious, which then begins to manifest it in your outer world. To harness this power, one must first understand that repetition is not a passive process. It is not enough to simply utter words mindlessly. True repetition involves engaging the heart and mind fully. When you repeat an affirmation, for instance, you must feel its truth. If you are affirming abundance, you must feel the joy, relief, and gratitude of already living in abundance. The emotion you attach to the repeated words amplifies their impact, embedding them even deeper into your subconscious mind. It is the fusion of consistent repetition and heartfelt emotion that makes this practice transformative. This process also requires faith and persistence. The subconscious mind does not operate on a strict timeline. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, the repeated thoughts and affirmations you plant in your subconscious need time to take root and bear fruit. During this period, it is essential to persist, even when external circumstances appear unchanged. Many people give up too soon, dismissing the power of repetition because they do not see immediate results. But understand this: the outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner world. The changes you make within through repetition will inevitably be mirrored in your reality if you remain steadfast. One of the greatest barriers to the power of repetition is doubt. Doubt is the voice of the conscious mind, questioning whether what you are repeating is true or possible. This is why it is crucial to immerse yourself fully in the process. Do not allow the conscious mind to interrupt or undermine your efforts. Treat your affirmations and repeated thoughts as sacred, as unassailable truths. Over time, as you persist, doubt will dissolve, replaced by an unshakable belief in the reality you are creating. Repetition also has the power to dismantle limiting beliefs. For every negative thought or belief you have, there is a corresponding positive affirmation that can overwrite it. If you have long believed that success is out of reach, begin to repeat affirmations that declare success as your birthright. If you have struggled with feelings of unworthiness, affirm your inherent value and lovability. At first, these affirmations may feel foreign or even false. This is natural, as the mind resists change. But with consistent repetition, these new affirmations will begin to feel familiar, then believable, and finally they will become your truth. One of the most effective times to engage in repetition is before sleep. In the moments before you drift into slumber, the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious becomes more receptive. This is a powerful window to repeat affirmations or visualize your desired reality. What you impress upon your mind during this time will continue to play like a record in your subconscious throughout the night, deepening its impact. Repetition is the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. It is the tool through which you can rewrite the script of your life. Whether you seek to manifest love, success, health, or inner peace, the consistent repetition of affirmations aligned with your desires will pave the way. It bends the impossible to your will, not through force, but through unwavering faith and persistence. Every great achievement in history was first a thought, repeated often enough to become a belief, and then acted upon until it became reality. You have the same power within you. Start today. Choose the words, thoughts, and ideas you wish to define your life, and repeat them consistently. Through repetition, you will anchor new beliefs, and through these beliefs, you will create a new reality, one where the impossible is not only possible but already yours. Imagination is the foundation upon which all creation rests. It is the limitless realm where ideas are born, dreams take shape, and the impossible begins its journey toward becoming possible. When you engage your imagination with purpose and intention, you harness the most powerful tool available for manifesting your desires. Everything that exists in the physical world was first conceived in the mind of someone who dared to imagine it. Every breakthrough, every invention, every masterpiece began as a vision held within the creative mind. Your imagination is not just a fleeting daydream or an idle escape from reality, it is the blueprint for your life. The subconscious mind, which governs the majority of your reality, cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It responds to the images and feelings you hold in your mind as though they are already true. This is why imagination is so transformative. When you visualize your desires with clarity and conviction, you plant the seeds of their fulfillment within your subconscious mind, which then begins to manifest them into your outer experience. The process of creation through imagination begins with clarity. You must know what you want in vivid detail. It is not enough to have a vague desire for happiness, success, or love. You must define what these things look and feel like to you. Close your eyes and picture your desired outcome as though it were happening right now. See yourself living the life you long for. Imagine the sights, sounds, and sensations that accompany it. If you desire wealth, visualize yourself surrounded by the symbols of abundance. If you desire love, imagine the warmth of connection and the joy of companionship. The clearer your mental image, the stronger the impression it makes on your subconscious mind. But imagination alone is not enough, it must be accompanied by feeling. Feeling is the energy that brings your vision to life. When you imagine your desires, immerse yourself in the emotions they evoke. Feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as though your desires are already fulfilled. This emotional connection is what makes your imagination magnetic. It draws your desires toward you with a force that is irresistible. Without feeling, your visualization is like a blueprint without builders. It remains an unfulfilled idea. But when you add emotion, you activate the creative power needed to bring it into reality. It is important to approach this process with faith and conviction. Many people dismiss their imagination as mere fantasy, failing to realize its true power. But those who understand the creative potential of the mind know that what they imagine today can become their reality tomorrow. Do not allow doubt to creep in. When you visualize your desires, do so with the absolute belief that they are possible. Even if the world tells you otherwise, hold fast to your vision. The outer world is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. By imagining a new reality, you are setting the stage for a new reflection. Imagination is especially powerful when used consistently. Like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, you must return to your vision repeatedly, refining and reinforcing it. Make it a daily practice to spend time in quiet contemplation, visualizing your desires as vividly and emotionally as possible. The more you do this, the more deeply your vision will take root in your subconscious mind. Over time, you will begin to notice changes in your thoughts, feelings, and actions, all aligning with the reality you have imagined. These changes are the first signs that your vision is becoming real. Another key aspect of using imagination as a blueprint is to focus on the end result, not the means. Many people become fixated on how their desires will manifest, trying to control every step of the process. But this approach only limits the infinite possibilities available to you. Trust that your subconscious mind, in conjunction with the universal creative force, knows the best way to bring your vision to life. Your role is not to figure out the how, but to remain steadfast in your vision of the what, let go of the need to control, and instead surrender to the process, knowing that your imagined reality is already on its way to you. It is also important to approach imagination with a sense of playfulness and ease. The act of visualization should not feel like a chore or a rigid task. Instead, it should be a joyful and creative experience. When you engage your imagination with a sense of wonder and excitement, you tap into its limitless potential. This light-hearted approach also helps to quiet the doubts and fears of the conscious mind, allowing your vision to take root more easily. Imagination is the seed of all creation, but like any seed, it requires care and attention to grow. Water it with faith, nurture it with feeling, and protect it from the weeds of doubt and negativity. As you do, you will find that the impossible begins to take shape in your life. Your imagination is not a passive escape from reality, it is the active creation of reality. When you visualize and feel as though the impossible is already real, you invite it into your experience with an irresistible force. Trust in this process and watch as the blueprint of your imagination becomes the foundation of your life. Words, while powerful, are merely the starting point in the process of manifestation. They carry intention and direction, but without the depth of emotion, they remain hollow and ineffective. It is the feeling behind the words that brings them to life. Emotions are the catalyst that transforms a mere statement into a living reality. When you affirm something, it is not the words themselves that create change, but the truth you feel behind them. The emotions you generate are the fuel that propels your desires from thought to form. To manifest effectively, you must feel deeply. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. The seed alone does not grow unless it is nurtured with water, sunlight, and care. Similarly, your words are the seed, and your feelings are the nourishment that allows them to take root and flourish. Without feeling, affirmations are like seeds scattered on barren ground. There is potential, but nothing takes hold. When you connect your emotions to your words, you give them life and power, creating an unbreakable link between your desires and your reality. Feeling deeply begins with immersing yourself in the experience of already having what you desire. This is not a future projection or a wishful thought, but a present moment realization. Close your eyes and visualize your desire as though it is already fulfilled. Then go further, step into the scene. What does it feel like to live that reality? How does it change your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions? Let yourself become fully absorbed in the experience, engaging all your senses. See the colors, hear the sounds, and most importantly, feel the emotions associated with your fulfilled desire. Is it joy, gratitude, relief? Whatever the feeling, allow it to flood your entire being. This emotional connection is the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. When you feel the truth of your affirmation, you signal to your subconscious mind that it is real. The subconscious does not argue or question, it accepts what you impress upon it as truth. By feeling deeply, you bypass the doubts and limitations of the conscious mind, creating a direct path for your desires to take root in your inner world. From there, the outer world begins to shift, aligning with the new reality you have created within. It is important to note that the quality of your feelings matters as much as their intensity. Negative emotions such as fear, doubt, or frustration can act as barriers to manifestation, while positive emotions like joy, love, and gratitude accelerate the process. This is why cultivating a sense of gratitude for what you desire even before it arrives is so powerful. Gratitude is a declaration of trust and faith. It says to the universe, I believe this is already mine. When you feel grateful in advance, you align yourself with the frequency of your desired reality, drawing it closer with effortless ease. Consistency is another vital aspect of feeling deeply. Manifestation is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. You must return to the feeling of your desire regularly, reinforcing it until it becomes second nature. This repetition is what transforms a fleeting emotion into a permanent state of being. Over time, the feelings you generate will begin to influence your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, creating a powerful ripple effect that transforms your life from the inside out. One of the challenges many face is bridging the gap between their current reality and the feelings of their desired reality. It can feel unnatural or even dishonest to affirm something you do not yet see in your physical world. But this is where imagination becomes your greatest ally. Instead of focusing on what is missing, focus on what could be. Allow yourself to dream without limits, letting go of the how and simply embracing the what. The more vividly you imagine, the easier it becomes to generate the feelings associated with your desires. You must also release any resistance or attachment to the outcome. Feeling deeply does not mean forcing yourself into a state of joy or pretending to be happy when you are not. True feeling arises from alignment, not from effort. If you find it difficult to connect with the emotions of your desired reality, start with small, simple steps. Focus on what already brings you joy or gratitude in your current life. Build a foundation of positive emotions, and then extend those feelings to your affirmations. This gradual approach allows you to cultivate a genuine connection to your desires without strain or pressure. Feeling deeply is about embodying the truth of your desires. It is about living as though your affirmation is already real, not just in words but in every fiber of your being. This does not mean ignoring your present circumstances, but rather choosing to focus on the reality you are creating. When you feel deeply, you become a vibrational match to your desires, and the universe responds in kind. Let your emotions be the driving force behind your words. Speak them with conviction, but feel them with your whole heart. Let the joy, gratitude, and excitement of your fulfilled desires radiate from within you. As you do, you will find that the line between imagination and reality begins to blur. The truth you feel within will become the truth you see without, and the life you have dreamed of will unfold before you with grace and ease. The present tense is the cornerstone of manifestation. When you speak and imagine as though your desires have already come to pass, you align your mind and energy with the reality you wish to create. This is not merely a linguistic choice, but a profound shift in consciousness. By declaring I am instead of I will be, you step into the power of the present moment, where creation takes place. The universe does not operate on a timeline of future promises, it responds to the reality you embody now. Many people make the mistake of framing their desires in the future tense, I will have, I will be, or I hope to achieve. While these statements may carry good intentions, they keep your desires perpetually out of reach, always on the horizon, but never in your grasp. When you affirm in the future tense, you are acknowledging the absence of your desire in the present. This creates a gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap can become a barrier to manifestation. The power of the present tense lies in its immediacy. When you say I am abundant or I am loved, you affirm that these truths already exist within you. You do not need to wait for external circumstances to validate them. By claiming your desires as present realities, you send a clear and unwavering message to your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not question or analyze, it accepts what you impress upon it as fact. By speaking in the present tense, you effectively program your mind to operate as though your desires are already fulfilled, setting the stage for them to manifest in your outer world. This practice requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing yourself as someone striving toward a goal, you must see yourself as someone who has already arrived. This does not mean denying your current circumstances, but rather choosing to focus on the reality you are creating. When you embody the feeling of your desires in the present moment, you become a magnet for their physical manifestation. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with your new reality, creating a powerful synergy that propels you forward. Imagination is a crucial tool in this process. To live in the present tense of your desires, you must first create a vivid mental picture of what that reality looks and feels like. Close your eyes and see yourself as the person you wish to be. What are you doing? How do you carry yourself? What emotions fill your heart? Engage all your senses to make the experience as real as possible. Then, affirm this reality with statements like I am successful, I am healthy, or I am at peace. These declarations are not mere words, but powerful declarations of your identity. Feeling is the key to making these affirmations effective. Words spoken without emotion lack the energy needed to influence your subconscious mind. When you say I am, you must feel the truth of it deeply. Imagine the joy, gratitude, and confidence that come with having your desires fulfilled. Let those emotions fill every part of your being. This emotional resonance is what gives your affirmations their creative power. Without it, your words remain empty. Another critical aspect of using the present tense is consistency. It is not enough to affirm your desires once and expect immediate results. You must return to this practice daily, reinforcing your belief until it becomes second nature. Over time, these affirmations will reshape your self-concept, altering the way you see yourself and the world around you. As your inner reality shifts, your outer reality will follow. It is also important to silence the voice of doubt. When you begin affirming in the present tense, your conscious mind may resist. It may remind you of your current circumstances or point out the gap between your affirmations and your reality. This is normal, but you must not give these doubts power. Instead, return to your affirmations with even greater conviction. Remember, the conscious mind is limited by logic and past experiences, while the subconscious mind operates on belief. By consistently affirming your desires in the present tense, you override the doubts of the conscious mind and program your subconscious to accept a new truth. The present tense also creates a sense of urgency and focus. When you declare I am, you eliminate procrastination and hesitation. You are no longer waiting for the right time or the perfect circumstances because you have already claimed your desires as your own. This mindset encourages you to take inspired action, aligning your behavior with your affirmations. Instead of passively hoping for change, you become an active participant in the manifestation process. Living in the present tense is not about pretending or ignoring reality, it is about choosing to see and embody the reality you wish to create. It is a bold declaration of faith in your creative power and the infinite possibilities of the universe. By speaking and imagining as though your desires have already happened, you step into a reality where the impossible becomes possible. You are no longer a seeker but a creator, shaping your world with every thought, word, and feeling. When you embrace the present tense, you unlock the true power of manifestation. You stop chasing your desires and start living them. This shift transforms not only your external circumstances but also your inner state of being. It cultivates a sense of confidence, peace, and joy that cannot be shaken. So declare with conviction, I am, and watch as your words become your reality. The power of persistence in belief cannot be overstated. In the journey of manifestation, the external world often presents challenges, contradictions, and delays that can test your resolve. Yet the secret to creating the life you desire lies in your ability to persist in your inner conviction, regardless of what appearances suggest. This unwavering faith in your inner vision is the force that molds reality to align with your desires. Reality is not dictated by what you see, but by what you hold steadfastly true within. To persist means to maintain your belief, even when circumstances seem contrary. It is easy to feel confident and secure when the world reflects your desires back to you. But the real test of your faith comes when it does not. The world outside is not fixed, it is a reflection of your internal state. If you waver in your belief, the external world mirrors that doubt. Conversely, if you persist, holding fast to the truth within you, the outer world must eventually conform. This persistence is not about ignoring the present reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. Instead, it is about recognizing that the present is merely a snapshot of past thoughts and beliefs. It is the result of what you previously held as true, not a permanent condition. By understanding this, you gain the power to transcend appearances and focus on the reality you are actively creating. You are not bound by what is, you are free to shape what would be. Persistence requires inner discipline. The mind naturally wants to react to what it sees, labeling things as good or bad, possible or impossible. But true creators learn to quiet these reactions and return to their inner vision. When the external world presents evidence that contradicts your desire, resist the urge to give it power. Instead, reaffirm your belief in the reality you are creating. Each time you do, you strengthen the foundation of your new reality and weaken the hold of the old. One of the most effective ways to persist despite appearances is through imagination. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the tool that allows you to experience your desired reality even before it manifests. When the outer world feels overwhelming or discouraging, retreat into your imagination. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. See it clearly, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions associated with it. This practice not only reinforces your belief but also shifts your inner state, which in turn influences your outer reality. Another key to persistence is emotional resilience. The journey to manifestation is rarely a straight path. There may be moments of doubt, frustration, or even despair. These emotions are natural, but they do not have to derail you. Instead of suppressing them, acknowledge their presence and gently redirect your focus to your inner truth. Remind yourself that your current emotions are temporary, but your vision is eternal. By staying anchored in your belief, you can navigate these emotional waves without losing sight of your goal. Gratitude is a powerful ally in maintaining persistence. When you feel gratitude for your desired reality as though it has already manifested, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude is an acknowledgement of the truth you hold within, and it strengthens your connection to that truth. It transforms your perspective, allowing you to see even the smallest signs of progress as evidence of your manifestation. This positive reinforcement fuels your persistence, keeping your belief alive and vibrant. It is also important to surround yourself with supportive influences. The people, environments, and information you engage with can either strengthen or weaken your resolve. Choose to immerse yourself in inspiration and positivity. Seek out those who understand and respect your journey, and distance yourself from voices of doubt or negativity. Your belief is a sacred space, and it must be protected from anything that might compromise it. Time can often feel like an obstacle to persistence, but it is important to remember that time is not the enemy. Manifestation unfolds according to divine timing, which often aligns with the perfect moment for your highest good. Trust in this process. Impatience stems from a lack of belief, while patience is a demonstration of faith. By persisting, you affirm that your desire is inevitable, no matter how long it takes to appear. Persistence is not about brute force or stubbornness, it is about gentle, unwavering faith. It is the quiet confidence that what you hold true within must eventually be reflected without. This faith is not dependent on evidence or validation, it exists because you choose to believe. Each time you persist, you are declaring to yourself and the universe that your vision is more real to you than the temporary circumstances around you. When you persist despite appearances, you step into your role as a creator of your reality. You stop being a passive observer of life and become an active participant in its design. You align with the truth that reality is malleable, shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. In this state, nothing can stand in your way, for the power within you is greater than any obstacle outside you. Hold your vision firmly, no matter what the world shows you. See beyond appearances to the truth of what you are creating. Know that your inner reality is the blueprint for your outer world, and by persisting, you are bringing that blueprint to life. Trust the process, stay rooted in your belief, and watch as the impossible becomes inevitable. Evening is a sacred time, a gateway to the subconscious mind where the seeds of your desires can be planted most effectively. As the day comes to a close and the mind begins to unwind, the barriers of logic and resistance dissolve, leaving the subconscious open and impressionable. It is during these moments, just before sleep, that the conscious mind hands over its final impressions to the subconscious, which works tirelessly to bring those impressions into form. The subconscious mind is the engine of creation, faithfully executing the instructions it receives. Unlike the conscious mind, it does not question, analyze, or resist, it simply accepts what is impressed upon it as truth. This is why the moments before sleep are so powerful. In this twilight state, known as the hypnagogic state, your thoughts and feelings are directly transmitted to the subconscious without interference from doubt or contradiction. Whatever you dwell upon during this time becomes the blueprint for your reality. To make the most of this gateway, it is essential to approach the evening with intention. The thoughts you entertain before sleep should be aligned with your desires and aspirations. If you allow yourself to replay the worries, frustrations, or disappointments of the day, you risk embedding those negative emotions into your subconscious, perpetuating their effects in your life. Instead, consciously choose to focus on what you wish to create, and let your last waking thoughts be ones of hope, joy, and fulfillment. Visualization is a powerful tool to use during this time. As you lie in bed, close your eyes and imagine your desired reality as vividly as possible. See yourself living the life you desire, experiencing the joy, success, or love you seek. Engage all your senses, see the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and immerse yourself fully in the experience. Most importantly, feel the emotions associated with your desire. The subconscious responds most strongly to emotion, so allow yourself to feel gratitude, excitement, or peace as though your desire is already fulfilled. Affirmations are another effective method for planting seeds in the subconscious during the evening. Repeat statements that reflect your desires in the present tense, such as I am abundant, I am loved, or I am healthy. Speak these affirmations softly, either aloud or in your mind, and allow their truth to sink in deeply. Combine them with visualization for an even more potent effect. For example, as you affirm, I am successful, picture yourself achieving a specific goal or celebrating a milestone. The combination of words and imagery creates a vivid impression that the subconscious cannot ignore. It is also beneficial to cultivate a sense of gratitude before sleep. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Reflect on the things you are grateful for, both in your current life and in the reality you are creating. By feeling gratitude as though your desires have already manifested, you align yourself with the vibration of fulfillment and abundance. This not only impresses your desires upon the subconscious, but also sets the tone for the following day, attracting more experiences to be grateful for. The evening gateway is not just about what you think and feel, it is also about the environment you create. Your physical and mental surroundings can influence the quality of your impressions. Create a calming bedtime routine that supports relaxation and positive focus. Dim the lights, play soothing music, or meditate to quiet your mind. Avoid consuming negative or stressful content before bed, as it can disrupt your ability to focus on your desires. Instead, read or listen to uplifting material that inspires and reinforces your intentions. Consistency is key to making the most of the evening gateway. The subconscious mind learns through repetition, so make this practice a nightly ritual. Over time, the repeated impressions will take root and begin to shape your reality. Even if you do not see immediate results, trust that the process is working. The subconscious operates on its own timeline, orchestrating events and circumstances in ways that may not be immediately apparent. Patience and persistence are essential. It is important to approach this practice with a sense of ease and trust. Do not force your visualizations or affirmations. Instead, allow them to flow naturally. The subconscious does not respond well to tension or strain, as these are signs of doubt. Instead, relax into the feeling of your desire, knowing that it is already on its way. Let go of the need to control the outcome or the timeline, and simply focus on the joy and fulfillment of the present moment. As you drift off to sleep, carry these thoughts and feelings with you. The subconscious will take over from there, working through the night to bring your desires closer to reality. In this way, the evening becomes a powerful ally in your journey of creation. It is a time to let go of the worries of the day and step into the reality you wish to create. Each night is an opportunity to align yourself with your highest potential. By using the evening gateway wisely, you harness the full power of your subconscious mind, turning your dreams into reality. Let your last thoughts be ones of love, gratitude, and certainty, and watch as the seeds you plant in the evening blossom into the life you desire. Faith is the cornerstone of all manifestation, the invisible force that bridges the gap between your desires and their realization. It is not a passive hope, but an active, living conviction that what you seek is already yours. Faith operates beyond logic, beyond evidence, and beyond the physical world, drawing upon the unseen yet undeniable power of belief. It is through faith that the impossible becomes possible, for faith sees reality not as it is but as it can be. To have faith means to trust implicitly in the truth of your inner vision. This trust is not contingent upon external validation or immediate results. Rather, it is rooted in the certainty that the unseen is just as real as the seen. When you have faith, you no longer question whether your desires will manifest. You know they are already a reality within you. This knowing transforms the way you think, feel, and act, aligning every aspect of your being with your desired outcome. Faith is not a passive state, it is dynamic and active. It requires you to think and act as though your desires have already come to fruition. This is the essence of living in the end, a practice that shifts your focus from lack to fulfillment. When you embody the mindset and emotions of having already achieved your goals, you align yourself with the frequency of your desires. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic pull that draws your desires into your physical reality. Acting as though the impossible is already yours does not mean pretending or forcing a false sense of reality. Instead, it is about embodying the essence of your desire with genuine conviction. For example, if your goal is financial abundance, faith does not require you to spend recklessly or deny your current circumstances. Instead, it asks you to adopt the mindset of abundance, to feel gratitude for the wealth already flowing into your life, to make decisions from a place of security rather than fear, and to trust that every step you take is leading you closer to your financial goals. Faith also influences the way you handle challenges and setbacks. In the absence of faith, obstacles can feel like insurmountable barriers, feeding doubt and discouragement. But with faith, challenges become opportunities to reaffirm your belief. They are no longer threats but stepping stones, each one serving to strengthen your resolve and deepen your commitment to your vision. Faith allows you to see beyond temporary difficulties, keeping your focus on the ultimate outcome. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is its ability to transform your internal state. When you truly believe that your desires are already yours, you naturally enter a state of peace and confidence. This inner calm is a reflection of your trust in the process, your knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. It eliminates the need for worry or desperation, replacing them with a sense of ease and certainty. This shift in your internal state not only feels good but also has a profound impact on your external reality. The energy of faith is magnetic, attracting people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires. Faith is not something you summon only in moments of need, it is a way of life. It requires daily cultivation and practice. One way to strengthen your faith is through visualization. By consistently imagining your desires as already fulfilled, you reinforce your belief in their reality. Another powerful practice is gratitude. By expressing gratitude for your desires as though they are already yours, you affirm their presence in your life and deepen your faith in their manifestation. It is important to understand that faith does not rely on physical evidence. In fact, the strongest faith often exists in the absence of any proof. This is because faith operates in the realm of the unseen, where the seeds of manifestation are planted and nurtured. When you require evidence to believe, you are relying on the external world to dictate your internal state. But true faith works in the opposite direction. It starts within and shapes the external world accordingly. Doubt is the greatest adversary of faith. It is natural for doubt to arise, especially when the path ahead seems unclear or when progress appears slow. However, doubt can only take root if you allow it. The key is to recognize doubt for what it is, a temporary thought, not an ultimate truth. When doubt arises, reaffirm your faith by returning to your vision. Remind yourself that the absence of evidence is not the absence of progress. Trust in the unseen forces that are working behind the scenes to bring your desires to life. Faith also calls for patience. Manifestation is not always instantaneous, and the timing may not align with your expectations. But faith understands that everything unfolds in divine timing, often in ways that are more perfect than you could have imagined. And trust in this timing and allow the process to unfold without resistance. The waiting period is not a void, it is a time of preparation, growth, and alignment, ensuring that you are ready to receive what you have asked for. Faith is the key that unlocks all doors. It is the unwavering belief that your desires are not just possible but inevitable. This belief transforms the impossible into the inevitable, for faith knows no limitations. When you think, feel, and act from this place of certainty, you become a powerful creator of your reality. The world outside you begins to shift, reflecting the truth you hold within. Trust in your faith and watch as it bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. In conclusion, faith is the most powerful force in the process of manifestation. It is the bridge that connects your desires to their physical reality. Through unwavering belief, acting as if your desires are already realized, and persistently nurturing that belief, you activate the full potential of your mind and the universe. The impossible becomes possible when you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the certainty that what you seek is already yours. Faith is not passive, it is an active, living force that moves mountains and opens doors that once seemed closed. By using the evening to cultivate faith, visualizing your desires, and affirming them with conviction, you can plant the seeds of your future and let the power of faith transform your life. With faith, you unlock a reality filled with limitless possibilities and endless opportunities. Thank you for taking the time to listen. May you always trust in the power of your faith, knowing that every dream, no matter how big, is already on its way to becoming your reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about power not in your fists or in your voice, but in your silence. The kind of power that doesn't shout or beg, but simply is. No contact isn't just a tactic, it's a declaration of your value. A silent reminder that you don't chase, you attract. And today I'm going to give you 5 undeniable signs that your silence is speaking volumes. When you stop making yourself available, you create a void. And let me tell you something about human nature. We don't notice the air we breathe until it's gone. Suddenly the messages come through. The questions start to flow. Are you okay? What's going on? They feel the shift. And now they're wondering why the silence feels so loud. The most powerful thing you can do is stand tall in your own solitude. When you stop reaching out, you find strength you didn't know you had. You begin to shine, and people notice that glow. That's the magic of self-respect. It's like a magnet pulling the right things toward you while repelling what no longer serves you. Here's the truth: your absence forces them to confront themselves. Maybe they start posting more. Maybe they suddenly act like they're doing better than ever. But deep down, they're trying to convince themselves they're not affected. Don't be fooled by the show. Your silence is making waves. No contact isn't just about them, it's about you. When you step away, you stop feeding the cycle of hurt and confusion. The pain starts to lose its grip on you. And in its place, peace. That's when you know you're winning, when your heart beats steady and your mind is clear. And then, one day it happens. The power shifts. They start chasing what they once took for granted. They realize what you knew all along: your presence was a privilege. And now, they're the ones wondering if they still have a chance. Silence isn't weakness, it's strength in its purest form. When you go no contact, you're telling the world, I am worth more than this. And the world, whether it's a person, an opportunity, or a blessing, responds accordingly. True transformation often begins in the most unlikely of places: silence. In a world consumed by constant chatter, distractions, and the incessant hum of notifications, silence can seem like an unfamiliar, even uncomfortable void. Yet, it is within that stillness that profound change takes root. Silence doesn't beg for attention, it doesn't demand acknowledgement. It simply exists, holding within it the power to shift perspectives, heal wounds, and reveal truths that were previously obscured by the noise. When the noise stops, the message begins. Imagine a still lake, untouched by ripples, reflecting the world around it with perfect clarity. This is what silence offers us: a chance to see things as they truly are, not as they appear in the chaos of daily life. It is within this reflective space that transformation occurs. When we are no longer consumed by the distractions of the external world, we are forced to turn inward, to face the thoughts and feelings we often bury beneath the surface. In silence, there is no escaping ourselves. We confront our fears, our doubts, and our desires, and through that confrontation, we begin to grow. Silence also teaches us patience. In the stillness, there is no rush, no urgency to fill the void with words or actions. This pause allows us to observe rather than react, to understand rather than judge. When we stop trying to force answers, they often come to us unbidden, like a whisper carried on the wind. True transformation doesn't happen in an instant, it unfolds gradually, like the blooming of a flower. Silence provides the fertile ground for this process, giving us the space we need to listen, not just to others, but to ourselves. Silence can feel intimidating. It strips away the distractions that shield us from our own thoughts and emotions. It is in the quiet moments that we hear the doubts we've been avoiding, the dreams we've neglected, and the truths we've been afraid to face. But this confrontation is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. For it is only when we face these truths that we can begin to transform them. Silence also has a way of amplifying the important things. When the noise ceases, we begin to notice the subtleties, the way our breath flows in and out, the rhythm of our heartbeat, the quiet hum of life all around us. This heightened awareness brings with it a sense of connection, a reminder that we are part of something larger than ourselves. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that we often find clarity, purpose, and direction. Silence can be equally transformative. Words are powerful, but they are not always necessary. Sometimes the greatest understanding comes not from what is said, but from what is left unsaid. In silence, we learn to truly listen, not just to the words of others, but to the emotions behind them. We discover the depth of connection that exists beyond language, a connection that is felt rather than spoken. In silence, we also reclaim our power. It is easy to lose ourselves in the noise of others' opinions, expectations, and judgments. But when we step back into the quiet, we rediscover our own voice. We remember that we are not defined by the chatter around us, but by the truth within us. Silence allows us to break free from the external pressures that often dictate our lives, giving us the freedom to live authentically and intentionally. Silence is not an absence, it is a presence, a powerful, transformative presence that invites us to slow down, to reflect, and to grow. It is a space where healing begins, where clarity emerges, and where the noise of the world fades away, leaving only what truly matters. So the next time you find yourself surrounded by noise, take a moment to step into the silence. Let it guide you, transform you, and remind you of the strength that lies within. For it is in the quiet moments, when the noise stops, that the most profound messages begin to speak. Time and space have an extraordinary ability to reshape our understanding of the world. When we step away from a situation, a relationship, or even our own thoughts, we create the opportunity to see things with a clarity that isn't accessible in the heat of the moment. Distance is not merely a separation, it is a powerful tool for reflection and growth. It allows us to strip away the emotions, assumptions, and biases that cloud our judgment, revealing the truth that often lies hidden beneath the surface. When we are too close to something, our perspective becomes limited. Think of it as standing inches away from a painting. At that proximity, the details blur, and we lose sight of the bigger picture. Every brushstroke seems chaotic, and it's impossible to appreciate the masterpiece as a whole. But when we take a few steps back, the colors blend harmoniously, the shapes come to life, and the purpose behind every stroke becomes clear. This is what distance offers us in life, the ability to step back and see the whole story, not just the fragmented pieces. Time works hand in hand with distance. In the moment, emotions often run high. Anger, sadness, or even excitement can cloud our ability to think rationally. But as time passes, those emotions begin to settle. What once felt overwhelming starts to fade, and we gain a more balanced perspective. It's like muddy water in a glass. If you keep stirring it, it remains murky. But if you let it sit, the sediment settles to the bottom, and the water becomes clear. Time allows our thoughts and feelings to settle, giving us the clarity we need to understand situations more fully. Distance also provides the space for self-reflection. When we remove ourselves from a situation, we are no longer consumed by the dynamics of the moment. Instead, we have the opportunity to examine our own role, our choices, and our reactions. This introspection is invaluable. It's in these moments of solitude that we often uncover truths about ourselves, truths that are difficult to see when we are entangled in the complexities of everyday life. We may realize that we were holding on to something out of fear, or that we were reacting from a place of insecurity rather than understanding. One of the greatest gifts of distance is its ability to reveal what truly matters. In the moment, it's easy to get caught up in trivialities or to assign importance to things that don't deserve it. But when we step away, we can more easily discern between what is essential and what is not. Distance has a way of highlighting what adds value to our lives and what drains it. It shows us where to invest our energy and where to let go. In particular, benefit from this perspective. Sometimes we hold on to people or situations out of habit, obligation, or fear of change, but when we create space, we can evaluate those relationships more objectively. We can ask ourselves whether they are truly serving us whether they align with our values and goals, and whether they bring out the best in us. Distance often brings clarity, and with that clarity comes the courage to make choices that align with our highest good. Distance is not just about stepping away from others, it's also about stepping closer to ourselves. In the quiet moments that distance provides, we reconnect with who we are. We rediscover our values, our passions, and our dreams. We begin to see ourselves not as we think others perceive us, but as we truly are. This self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and empowerment. Distance and time are not just about letting go, they are about gaining perspective. They are about creating a space where the noise fades and the truth becomes audible. When we allow ourselves this space, we can see things as they truly are, not as they appeared in the chaos of the moment. And in that clarity, we find the wisdom and strength to move forward with purpose and intention. Growth often requires a step away from the familiar, a deliberate separation from the constant noise of interaction and routine. It is in this space, away from the distractions and demands of everyday connections, that clarity emerges. The absence of constant engagement isn't a void to fear, it's a fertile ground where transformation begins to take root. When we are surrounded by constant interaction, whether with people, situations, or even our own thoughts, it can feel as though we are caught in a whirlwind. There's little time to pause, reflect, or assess. The continual exchanges of energy and emotions can blur our judgment, leaving us reactive rather than intentional. But when separation occurs, whether by choice or circumstance, it creates the stillness needed for perspective to take shape. In this stillness, the mind quiets and the heart begins to speak truths that were previously drowned out by the noise. Separation offers us the gift of introspection. When we are removed from the constant pull of relationships or responsibilities, we can finally turn inward. This isn't about isolation or loneliness, it's about connection with oneself. In the space of separation, we begin to recognize patterns in our behavior and thoughts. We see clearly the habits that serve us and the ones that hinder our progress. This self-awareness becomes the foundation for meaningful growth. True growth is rarely visible in the moment. It unfolds gradually, like a seed buried in the soil. At first, it seems as though nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, in the darkness and solitude, the seed is transforming. It is breaking open, stretching its roots, and preparing to reach for the light. Similarly, in the absence of constant interaction, we too undergo a transformation that isn't always immediately apparent. The silence and separation allow us to gather strength, focus, and clarity, setting the stage for profound change. Separation also challenges us to confront the aspects of ourselves that we might otherwise avoid. When we are constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to project our struggles outward, blaming circumstances or relationships for our frustrations. But in the space of separation, there's no one else to distract us from ourselves. This can be uncomfortable, but it is also incredibly powerful. It forces us to face our fears, insecurities, and doubts. And in doing so, we learn to overcome them. We discover resilience we didn't know we had and a deeper understanding of who we are. One of the most profound realizations that comes from separation is the recognition of what truly matters. Without the constant input of others' opinions or the pressures of external expectations, we can evaluate our priorities with greater clarity. We begin to see which relationships, goals, and values align with our authentic selves and which ones we've been holding on to out of habit or obligation. This clarity is a compass, guiding us toward a life that is more intentional and fulfilling. In relationships, separation often provides the perspective needed to appreciate the connection fully. When we step away, we gain a better understanding of the dynamics at play. We see the strengths and weaknesses of the bond, and we have the opportunity to decide whether it nurtures our growth or holds us back. Sometimes separation leads to reconciliation and renewal, and other times it reveals the need to move on. Either way, it is an essential part of the process. Growth thrives in separation because it allows us to return to ourselves. It reminds us that we are whole, even when we are alone. It teaches us that our worth is not dependent on constant interaction or external validation. In the absence of others, we learn to nurture our own needs, pursue our own dreams, and build our own strength. Separation is not the end of the story, it's the beginning of a new chapter. It's the space where clarity is born, where intentions are sharpened, and where growth becomes undeniable. In this space, we are not running away from life, we are preparing ourselves to engage with it more fully, more authentically, and with greater purpose. It is here, in the quiet and solitude, that we become the person we are meant to be. Actions often speak louder than words. And when your absence begins to leave its mark, the actions of others can reveal a profound truth: they miss you. It's in this space of separation, where your presence is no longer taken for granted, that regret often starts to take root. People begin to reflect on what they had, what they lost, and most importantly, the role you played in their lives. This shift is not immediate, but when it comes, it is unmistakable. In the day-to-day routine of life, it's easy for people to overlook what they have. Familiarity can dull appreciation, and the comfort of knowing someone will always be there can lead to complacency. But absence creates a void, and in that void, clarity emerges. The things once taken for granted become glaringly obvious in their absence. Your kindness, support, and presence, which were once background noise in the chaos of life, suddenly become front and center in their thoughts. Regret is not just a feeling, it's a catalyst for change. When someone begins to feel the weight of your absence, their behavior often shifts in ways that reveal their inner turmoil. They might start reaching out more frequently, trying to bridge the gap that has grown between you. These attempts to reconnect are often subtle at first: a casual message, an unexpected call, or an effort to be present in spaces where they know you might be. These actions, though seemingly small, are laden with meaning. They reflect an acknowledgement of your value and a desire to restore what was lost. Sometimes regret manifests in more profound ways. People might begin to change their behavior, striving to show that they've learned from past mistakes. They may take steps to address the issues that led to the separation, whether it's working on their communication skills, showing more gratitude, or making an effort to prioritize the relationship. These actions are often driven by an understanding that your absence has taught them something invaluable: your worth cannot be replaced, and losing you was not something they want to risk again. It's important to recognize that these actions are not always immediate. Regret often takes time to surface. Initially, people might deny the impact of your absence, convincing themselves that life goes on as usual. But over time, the reality sets in. They begin to notice the quiet spaces where your laughter once filled the room, the unanswered questions that only you could answer, and the comfort that only your presence could provide. This growing awareness can be a humbling experience, one that forces them to confront their own shortcomings and the ways they may have failed to appreciate you. Your absence also holds a mirror to their lives, forcing them to examine their priorities and values. They may start to question why they allowed the relationship to falter and whether they were truly present and engaged when they had the chance. These reflections can be painful, but they are also necessary for growth. Regret, in this context, becomes a teacher, guiding them toward greater self-awareness and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. While it's natural to feel a sense of validation when someone's actions begin to reflect regret, it's important to approach these moments with clarity and discernment. Regret alone is not enough to rebuild a relationship or heal old wounds. Actions must be consistent, sincere, and aligned with genuine growth. It's not about accepting someone back into your life simply because they realize they've made a mistake. It's about evaluating whether their actions demonstrate a commitment to change and a renewed respect for what you bring to their life. Your worth is not determined by someone else's realization of it. The absence that highlights your value to others is a testament to the unique and irreplaceable qualities you bring to the table. Whether their regret leads to reconciliation or simply serves as a lesson for them, it is ultimately a reflection of your impact. Your presence left a mark, and your absence underscores its significance. When someone's actions begin to reflect regret, it serves as a reminder of the power of your presence and the strength of your absence. It's a testament to your value, a validation of the unique role you played, and a sign that your worth is undeniable, even when you're not there to remind them. Whether you choose to let them back into your life or continue on your path, their regret becomes a moment of clarity for both them and you. It's in these moments that the true weight of your absence and the depth of your worth is fully realized. Inner peace is a force unlike any other. It doesn't shout or demand attention, yet it commands respect and admiration. When you cultivate a sense of calm and self-assurance within yourself, it changes everything, not just how you see the world, but how the world responds to you. Strength, rooted in peace, becomes a magnetic energy that draws people and opportunities to your door without effort or pursuit. This magnetism starts with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and being at ease with yourself. It is not about arrogance or superiority, it is about a deep connection to your inner truth. When you are at peace with yourself, you stop seeking external validation. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth to others or chase after recognition. Instead, you radiate a quiet strength that others can sense, even from a distance. Inner peace creates a natural allure because it is so rare in a world full of chaos and noise. Many people are consumed by their own insecurities, fears, and desires. They are constantly chasing something, whether it's approval, success, or love, and this restless energy can be exhausting to those around them. But when someone encounters a person who is grounded, composed, and secure in themselves, it is like finding an oasis in a desert. People are drawn to that serenity because it offers them a glimpse of what they too crave, a sense of wholeness and calm. This magnetism doesn't just attract people, it also opens doors to opportunities. When you are at peace with yourself, you make decisions from a place of clarity rather than desperation. You are not swayed by fear or the need to please others. Instead, you trust your intuition and follow the path that feels right for you. This alignment with your inner truth creates a ripple effect. The right opportunities seem to find you because your energy resonates with what you truly desire. You no longer have to chase success, it begins to flow to you naturally. Your interactions with others also change when you are centered in peace. People can sense when someone is genuinely present and not caught up in their own anxieties or agendas. This presence makes you a safe and comforting person to be around. Others feel heard and valued in your company because you are not projecting your own fears or insecurities onto them. This creates deeper and more meaningful connections, further enhancing your influence and the respect you garner. Inner peace is also a form of quiet rebellion against the pressures of the world. Society often equates success with constant hustle, loud ambition, and relentless pursuit. But true strength lies in the ability to step back, breathe, and trust the process. When you embody this strength, you become a living example of an alternative way of being, one that prioritizes balance, authenticity, and fulfillment over superficial achievement. This authenticity is magnetic because it is real, and people are naturally drawn to what is genuine. The journey to inner peace is not always easy. It requires self-reflection, patience, and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. It involves facing your fears, forgiving yourself for past mistakes, and embracing your imperfections. But as you do this inner work, you begin to notice a shift. The things that once seemed so important, chasing approval, comparing yourself to others, or proving your worth, start to lose their grip on you. In their place comes a quiet assurance that you are enough, just as you are. This shift doesn't go unnoticed by the world around you. People begin to treat you differently, not because you demand it, but because your energy commands it. When you carry yourself with calm confidence, others naturally respond with respect and admiration. They are drawn to your strength, not because you seek their attention, but because you don't need it. This independence is incredibly attractive, and it inspires others to find that same sense of peace within themselves. Inner peace is not about withdrawing from the world, it is about engaging with it on your own terms. It gives you the freedom to say no to what doesn't align with your values and to embrace what truly fulfills you. It allows you to move through life with grace, even in the face of challenges. And as you do so, you become a beacon for others, a source of light and inspiration that they can't help but be drawn to. Inner peace is the foundation for a magnetic life. It empowers you to live authentically, connect deeply, and attract what is meant for you without effort or chase. It is not something you find outside yourself, it is something you cultivate within. And once you do, the world around you begins to reflect the strength and serenity that you carry in your heart. The urge to act impulsively is deeply ingrained in human nature. When something feels uncertain or unresolved, the instinct is to bridge the gap, to reach out, to seek answers, or to assert control. However, this reaction often stems from fear or insecurity rather than strength. Acting in haste rarely leads to the outcomes we desire. Instead, it often complicates matters, pushing what we want further away or creating unnecessary tension. Patience, on the other hand, offers a different path, one of restraint, clarity, and purpose. Patience is not passive, it is a form of active discipline. It requires strength to sit with discomfort, to resist the pull of immediate action, and to trust that everything will unfold in its time. This strength comes from an inner assurance that you don't need to force anything to happen. When you hold back from reaching out in moments of uncertainty, you send a powerful message not just to others but to yourself. You affirm that you are in control of your emotions and choices, that you are not governed by fleeting impulses, and that you value the bigger picture over immediate gratification. When you practice patience, you create space for perspective. Impulsive actions are often short-sighted, driven by temporary emotions that cloud your judgment. In contrast, patience allows you to step back, assess the situation with clarity, and respond from a place of wisdom. It gives you the time to understand what truly matters and what doesn't, and it helps you prioritize your long-term well-being over momentary relief. This shift in perspective often leads to better decisions, stronger relationships, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Resisting the urge to reach out also shifts the dynamic in your relationships. When you act impulsively, you risk coming across as needy or dependent, which can create an imbalance. However, when you demonstrate patience and restraint, you show that you respect yourself and the boundaries of others. This self-respect is magnetic. It commands attention and earns respect in return. People are drawn to those who exude calm confidence, those who don't chase but instead allow things to come to them naturally. Patience also cultivates resilience. Each time you resist the urge to act impulsively, you strengthen your ability to endure discomfort and uncertainty. This resilience is a powerful asset in all areas of life, from personal relationships to professional endeavors. It equips you to handle challenges with grace, to navigate setbacks without losing your composure, and to remain focused on your goals even in the face of adversity. Over time, this resilience becomes a cornerstone of your strength, setting you apart as someone who can weather any storm with dignity and resolve. The power of patience lies not only in what it prevents but also in what it creates. By resisting impulsive actions, you create room for growth, understanding, and deeper connection. You allow others to come to their own realizations, to take responsibility for their actions, and to meet you halfway. You give situations the time they need to evolve naturally without interference or pressure. And in doing so, you often find that the outcomes are far more meaningful and enduring than anything you could have forced into being. Practicing patience also teaches you the value of timing. In life, timing is often everything. Acting too soon can disrupt the natural flow of events, while waiting for the right moment can lead to extraordinary results. Patience allows you to align with this flow, to trust that everything has its season, and to act when the time is right, not a moment sooner or later. This alignment with timing not only enhances your effectiveness, but also deepens your sense of peace and fulfillment. The power of patience lies in its quiet certainty. It is the confidence to know that you don't need to chase, force, or control, that everything meant for you will find its way to you in time. It is the discipline to hold your ground, to remain calm in the face of uncertainty, and to trust the process of life. When you embrace patience, you prove to yourself and to the world that true strength lies not in impulsive action but in the steady, unwavering resolve to wait for what is right. In the journey of silence, patience, and self-discovery, we uncover the profound power of stepping back to allow life to unfold on its own terms. Whether it's through the strength of silence, the clarity of perspective, the growth born in separation, or the magnetic energy of inner peace, each principle reinforces the truth that discipline and trust in oneself are the ultimate victories. Resisting the pull of impulsive action shows the world, and more importantly yourself, that you are grounded, resilient, and in control of your destiny. As you embody these truths, you create a life that is not only aligned with your highest self, but also a source of inspiration to others. Remember, everything meant for you will come in its time. Trust the process, honor your growth, and let your inner strength guide you forward. Thank you for listening, and may your path be filled with wisdom, clarity, and peace.